The Gentle Shores of Galilee, a bedtime story inspired by Chapter 6, Gospel of Mark. Once upon a time, when the hills were brushed with golden grass and the sea stretched like a silver ribbon under the sky, Jesus walked among the villages of Galilee. Everywhere he went, the people gathered, farmers with dust on their hands, children with bright eyes, grandmothers carrying baskets of figs. They came to listen, to hope, to feel the soft touch of heaven close to the earth. One morning, after the mist had lifted from the fields, Jesus called his 12 friends together. They sat beneath a great fig tree, its broad leaves whispering in the breeze. He spoke to them gently. Go, 2 by 2, and share the good news. Heal the sick. Bring hope to the weary. Take nothing but your walking stick and trust that the road will provide. The 12 nodded, their hearts trembling with both excitement and wonder. With sandals tied tightly and cloaks fluttering, they set off across the sunlit hills, bringing laughter and healing wherever they passed. In one village, a little girl who had never walked ran to greet her mother. In another, an old man found his sight again and cried happy tears under the olive trees. Meanwhile, Jesus walked quietly along the paths between towns, his presence like a soft song carried by the wind, but not everyone welcomed him. In his hometown of Nazareth, people looked at him with puzzled eyes. Isn't he just a carpenter? They whispered among themselves. And so, Jesus moved on, always patient, always kind, sowing seeds of love wherever hearts were open. Days passed, and the disciples returned, their faces glowing like lamps in the evening. They wanted to tell Jesus all that had happened, about the healings, the kindnesses, and the small miracles they had seen. Jesus smiled warmly and said, "Come away with me to a quiet place and rest." They climbed into a small boat and pushed off from the shore. The lake shimmered under the late afternoon sun, and the hills rolled away in soft waves of green and gold. But when they reached the other side, a surprise awaited them. A crowd had gathered, thousands upon thousands, filling the meadows like a field of wildflowers. Jesus looked at them and felt deep love stir within him. They were like sheep without a shepherd, and so he taught them, his voice calm and steady, filling the open air with words of life. As the sun began to set behind the hills, the disciples grew worried. "This is a lonely place," they said. "Send them away to find food." But Jesus simply said, "You give them something to eat." They looked at each other, puzzled. How could they feed so many with just 5 small loaves and 2 fish? Jesus smiled softly. "Bring them to me," he said. The people sat down in groups on the soft green grass. The loaves and fish were placed into Jesus' hands, and he looked up to heaven, giving thanks. Then he broke the bread and fish, and as the disciples passed the pieces around, something wonderful happened. No matter how much they gave away, there was always more. Everyone ate until they were full, and 12 baskets of leftovers were gathered up under the first stars of the evening. The crowd, now fed and full of joy, settled in for the night. The air was cool, and the grass smelled sweet under the moonlight. Later, Jesus asked his friends to get back into the boat and cross the lake while he stayed behind to pray. The disciples, tired but happy, set out across the water. But as night deepened, a strong wind stirred the waves. The boat rocked and tossed like a leaf in a storm. The disciples rowed hard, their arms aching, their faces turned toward the distant, flickering lights of the shore. Then, through the mist and across the dancing waves, they saw something, or someone, moving toward them. Fear gripped their hearts, but a voice, as soft and steady as the morning tide, called out, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." It was Jesus, walking across the very water, his robe flowing like a cloud around him. He climbed into the boat, and at once the wind ceased. The lake grew still, like a mirror, and the stars above shone bright and clear. The disciples stared in wonder, their hearts full of awe and peace. They didn't fully understand yet, but they knew. When Jesus was near, even the wildest storms grew calm. Together they sailed the rest of the way, under a sky so deep and wide it seemed to carry the songs of angels. And as the night cradled Galilee in its arms, the hills whispered stories of miracles and hope, and the waters sighed with peace. And so too, little one, may you rest, knowing that the one who calmed the storm still watches over you, whispering love into your dreams. If this brought you a moment of peace, feel free to subscribe for more calming content each day. Now, dear one, as you close your eyes and let this day slip away, remember the one who does not break the bruised reed, the one who heals gently, who teaches with wisdom, who speaks with calm. He is the Lord of rest, the comforter of the weary, the keeper of your soul. May your dreams be filled with golden fields and quiet streams. May your heart rest in the peace of knowing you are seen, loved, and called family by the one who walks through grain fields, still speaks truth, and always offers rest. Good night. Sleep peacefully in his embrace.